some time to get everything up.
Okay, we're good. Although it says,
Look what I did. I didn't change the date.
January.
Well, I have it here. It's Thursday, 24th.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Board of Selectmen's meeting. Thursday, 24 of April, 2025, at about 6 p.m. And to get started, before we do that, I'm going to read this. So we're after opening this meeting is being recorded and broadcast via our local cable access channel, WCAT, Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. If anyone in the audience is recording, please let us know. And to get fully us started, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Rich is absent today.
Yep.
We're going to discussion with the Board of Assessors on Chapter Land First Right of Refusal process.
Been
Tabled.
Has been tabled to May 8th. Discussion with a possible vote on the first right of refusal for lots 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on Devil's Lane. Anticipated vote. So what do we have for that? That's the one we've been looking at, right?
It is the one that we were looking at.
Where is it on?
It's,
It's on,
Number one.
under the pass, the Mass Pike?
it's the one that was going to be, they had some foreclosure on it but they finally worked everything all out.
Do you remember Forest? They closed it when they did the Mass Pike, and half is on this side and half is on the other.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it's nothing we're gonna use.
I don't think
So
the town has any
we held
interest.
off on
No.
it because of the foreclosure, but the foreclosure has been worked through, so.
Is the
it's been
client
worked-
here?
Yes.
Good. Come forward, please. Identify yourself and,
No, I'm here with,
on the mic so they can hear who you are.
I'm Kimberly Semino, I'm here with Roy Henshaw, our lender.
Okay.
And all the, this thing about the foreclosure, it's all set?
Correct. It's been canceled.
Okay. So I guess we can go forward and just,
Yeah, I'll make a motion to hereby state and agree that the town of Warren shall not exercise its option pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 61A, to purchase the parcels of land in the town of Warren shown as lots 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on plan entitled Plan of Land Prepared for David L. Cheney and Vicky M. Cheney, Devil's Land, Warren, Mass., with the Worcester District Registry of Deeds in book number 68002, page number 117.
second? All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye?
Derek Bailey side? Did you want to say something?
Just for the record, it should say Devil's Lane, not land.
Lane, not
Devil's
land.
Lane.
Sorry.
Okay, so motion approved. You're all set.
Thank you. When can we receive that letter?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a notary, and it has to be notarized.
Okay.
Lori? Can Lori notarize it?
I don't think she's here yet, still.
Oh, she's not here.
She
No.
was when I was outside.
Yeah, she was just right there. She poked her head in.
Do you need it?
Yeah, if you can grab her. ask if she can notarize something real quick. Thanks, Chief. We'll get that done for you if we can, if she's here.
Thank
If
you.
she's not here, then,
Maybe tomorrow or
yeah,
Yeah, you can do it tomorrow.
drop by late morning tomorrow or something. Hey.
What time are you here tomorrow, because it's Friday?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, okay.
Okay.
All right, why don't I just
but
do
Lori,
that
will
then?
Lori be here?
Lori won't be here until probably about 1 o'clock because it's voting. But Travis, I don't know if Travis has his.
Do you want me to just call you in the morning? and-
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
I'll do
you.
it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Where is my thing you have to finish?
Yeah. She must have snuck out.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah,
Second,
I'll send it later.
we're good for the next one?
Yep.
Discussion with a possible vote to sign the warrant for the May 6th annual town election, anticipated vote.
Didn't we already vote on this?
This is for the town election. This is not for the annual town meeting. This is for the
No,
town.
I thought we already did this one, didn't we?
I don't think so.
No?
She just gave it to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, we did this like 3 weeks ago. All right, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to sign the warrant for the May 6th annual town election.
I second that. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Next, we have a discussion on a possible appointment of Julie Van Nuys of 14 Milton O. Fontaine Way as an election worker until December 31st, 2025, anticipated vote.
I have no concerns with her.
I don't have a concern either. Is any discussion? Anybody in the public? Okay, let's do it.
Except Lori changed that to just be for the town election on May 6th. So her appointment's only good until the town election on May 6th.
Not December, like it says here?
No, yeah.
No, the
she
motion's
changed it.
correct, though.
Yeah, she changed it.
The motion is okay.
Yep. I'll make a motion to appoint Julie Vadness as a election worker for the annual town election on, till May 6th, 2025.
Second that, all in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved. Discussion with a possible vote to accept the Emergency Management Regional Planning Committee bylaws, anticipated vote. Jimmy.
Good evening, Jim McKeon, Emergency Management Director, Warren. I think maybe about a month ago, I presented this bylaw draft to you guys to kind of review and look at. We had another meeting since then too, in April, and I got a form to make it official to you guys adopt and agree, and it'd be basically making me the representative of this group, attend the meetings and
Okay.
So you'll need to make this motion to, right here, yeah, right there. So add that to accepting and then appoint him.
Okay. I'm good with it.
Yes, sir, me too.
Mis-
Do you have anything to say?
No.
He's okay too.
Thank you very
all
much.
right, thank you.
So I'll make a motion to accept and sign the Emergency Management Regional Planning Committee bylaws and to appoint Mr. James McKeon to represent the town of Warren as the appointed Emergency Response Coordinator for an indefinite term.
Second it. You good?
We can't do indefinite terms. We can only do 3 years.
And it says indefinite?
That's what it usually is. It's even
Okay.
my
I
emergency.
wasn't sure. I
It's
wasn't
3
sure.
years?
So do it 3 years.
Yeah, you can do,
And I'll
yeah,
change
3
it.
years is good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you change, because we can't,
Okay.
we
I'll change
can't
it.
appoint somebody beyond what the selectmen are elected for.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
Yeah.
probably even the appointment of the emergency management too, it's the same thing. I think it's every 3 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll change that.
So
don't sign
I'm
that.
gonna withdraw that motion, and I'm gonna make the motion again. And I make a motion to accept and sign the Emergency Management Regional Planning Committee bylaws and to appoint, as a representative to the town of Warren, for the Emergency Response Coordinator for a 3-year term, Mr. James McKeon.
I second that. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye, motion approved.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Very
Now, since they've named you, do you sign this or do they sign that? Because it says right here, appointment date, authorized signature. Is Derek still the only authorized signature?
I would say, yeah, they wanted,
Okay,
one of the board members' signatures on it.
okay.
too.
So
I can
it's
sign
So
it
is
as
it-
well.
Is it just one signature?
just one signature.
Be the
Okay,
chair.
yeah,
of the board.
Chair can sign. Yeah, we don't have to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's keep going with the roof stuff. Discussion with a possible vote to enter into a contract between the town and JJS Universal Construction Company for the replacement of the roof at the senior center. Anticipated vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good evening. Before you this evening is a contract between the town and JJS Universal Construction Company, who was the successful bidder for the roof replacement project at the senior center. The contract price is $28,136, which is going to be paid through a grant, a state grant, an earmark that we were fortunate to get through Representative Smoller's office, who's been a great partner with the town. It's a standard contract. It's a contract that we've used in the past for these types of projects. Funding has been certified by the accountant, has been signed off by the contractor, and is waiting the chair, the board's signature, and the board's ratification of the contract so that the process can move forward.
Very good. I think it's exciting news.
Absolutely. It's very understood that they have to remove every layer off
Yes.
of that roof. 'Cause
Yep.
there's like 7 layers in one spot, and they have to remove all 7 layers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's history.
Yeah. It's
There,
also
there,
ruining the roof.
we had a pre-construction meeting this week at the site, and I met with the contractor, and if there's any water damage underneath any of the layers, there may be a change order to address to correct the wood and to replace the wood. And, there's some other items that are penetrating the roof, that are currently penetrating, like the vents. Obviously, those are going to stay. There is a satellite dish that's on the roof that we're not sure what it belongs to or why it's there. I've asked Sharon to look into it. If she doesn't need it, and if it's not of any use, the contractor had recommend that we just get rid of it. It may be for some old television system that they had there years ago. I don't know. Those are some of the things that we looked at. There are some areas of the roof that, are, that could potentially have a little bit of water damage there. But we just don't know until he takes off all the layers and we see what's there.
Yeah,
But,
there was that one section to the left of the building, more towards the front where they was starting to get rot,
yeah,
so.
Well,
Again,
good
we
thing
won't
is-
know until they remove it.
right.
Well, the good thing is we're gonna take a lot of weight off the structure, so
Yes.
it's gonna be a healthy for the building, and a new envelope protecting it from the weather.
You know,
Plus,
last
I mean,
another 25 to 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have, this is gonna be paid for through an earmark, so it's not costing the town, any money, and, we're gonna be getting this done in the next few weeks, so, looks like the contractor's looking to schedule it, the week of May 12th,
Okay.
so.
Very good. Awesome.
Just get it
I'm
going.
good. All right. I'll make a motion to enter into a contract with JJS Universal Construction Company for the replacement of the roof on the senior center.
I second that, all in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
Both of you.
Motion approved. Is it Jim or me?
It's you.
Just, well, it
Sure.
has 3 lines, so it could be you and
No.
him.
Here?
Okay.
Oh, I missed a dot.
Uh-oh. Why don't you have a sign on the top line?
Because we are all at the same level, it doesn't matter, sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. Okay. Now let's talk about the website. Initial discussion regarding the town's website, redesign, update, possible options.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before you this evening is a proposal from Revise Government Website Experts. They're a national company that does websites across the country. They've done some websites in Massachusetts. I think Swansea was a community. They mentioned some other communities that they've done in Massachusetts. And they are a similar but different company than Civic Plus, which we currently have. They've done North Adams, Swansea. It looks like they've done a couple towns in Michigan and Ohio, and they've done several other towns throughout the United States. And so they offer services, just like Civic, but a little bit more detailed in terms of what they could break down in terms of their what they could offer and their ability to train staff and their ability to walk people through how to use it and their support. So they offered a couple different options. This is obviously a first glance of their proposal. I know the board has directed me to look into getting some options. This is one particular option. This doesn't have to be the only option. But I worked with Sean from Revise, who is the representative assigned to work with us on establishing, a quote, and to provide this perspective to the board. So I just wanted to, number one, introduce this company to the board this week, provide this information to the board, have the board review this proposal between now and next week. And next week, I've offered Sean to come in via Zoom to answer any questions, to go over the proposal to the board, and to kind of, get some ideas flowing for a potential revamp of the website. Option number one that he has in his proposal is a full custom design, and that would be approximately $7,450. And then when you add in their annual maintenance fee of $2,300, that would be $97.50. And that's a complete redesign, and the custom design features are itemized in the proposal. Option number two is a more ready-to-use, like a plug-and-play option, where they give you like a shell, and you are responsible for putting in, the content and taking it over, and that's more of a shell, plug-and-play type of website. That is a little bit less, obviously, because they're not doing any custom work. The ready-to-use website is $37.50. The annual maintenance fee is $18.20 for a total of $55.70. That's certainly an option, and they go through the dedicated options and services that are provided in option number two, the features. So, it's considerably, these options are considerably less than what we anticipated for a potential, job for this. But, this is a first look at a first new company. I would encourage the board certainly that we can, look at, Civic and see if they have a different, version than what we currently have. Maybe it's better. I hope it would be better. And look at some other companies as well. But if the board would like to look at this, and then we can revisit it next week when Sean is able to come on Zoom to answer questions specifically about it, I think that would be a good start.
Do you know if both options will be ADA?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because they've gotten really strict with the ADA, what we have to do and what we don't have to do in our website. And that's coming to fruition fairly soon.
Soon, yeah. Yeah.
So one of the sites that they had in there that they said they did was North Adams. And I'm looking at their site, and it's a different type of design.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the standard with toolbars on the side
Right,
like we have.
right.
It flows, which is kind of nice. So I'd be interested to see what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just a start, right?
Yeah.
It's one company, and there's more out there, but I'd like to see what Civic can offer us for a better site,
That's
because
great, yeah.
right now, I'm sorry, Mr. Belize.
No, go ahead.
Right now, it's just not user friendly. I just admitted Tony, so
Okay.
he's in there. So,
Yeah, I think, I look at their website, it looks very interesting, very good. Now we have to do some homework inside and, come up with how much are we paying, who has our, be clear who's hosting our website, be clear who's has our domain, who is paying for our, SSL, that's the security certificate, which is very common. I don't know if you've seen it when you go to a website and it says this website is not secure, and sends you to another place. You have to buy it. So those are, and they talk about that in there. So, and then I think the difficult part is going to be having in this case, we're the client. They'll have to look at our website and see everything that we have and how it accommodates into both options. Because it's not as simple as, oh yeah, let's just copy paste everything into here. That won't happen that easy.
And we have to have who's going to add the agendas, who's going to, is
Yeah,
there
there's a
one
lot more
person
going
that-
on,
Yeah,
in administration, in access, and how things happen.
it'd be good to have a presentation, so we could ask them those questions and ask the things that we've been having a lot of problems with.
Yeah.
If it makes it easier for us, because if it makes it harder, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's good-looking website, but if it makes it harder for us to do, it doesn't make sense to do.
Yeah, just like the fact that we can't put the phone number on our homepage, it drives me crazy.
Well, then also when you add somebody, you add them, and if you don't do it right, you add them like 6 times on the one page, and it's like, I didn't want this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. Also, in the meantime, ask them if they have some samples with both options.
Sure.
Like, if Northam's, that was a complete customize or that was the shell.
Okay. Alright.
At least we can check both. But it's good, this is looking good.
So you want that on May 1st?
May 1st, yep, that'd be great.
Thank you very much for all the information.
Thank you.
Review and discuss a request from the highway surveyor.
We got table.
You got table?
Yep.
Okay, I'm not that fast reader. Presentation by Auditor Tony Rosselli, CPA, on Rosselli, Clark and Associates with regards to the town fiscal year 24 annual audit. Tony,
How
are
you doing,
on?
Tony?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you for having me tonight, and thank you for taking me out of order. So, my name is Tony Roselli, and I'm the managing partner for Roselli, Clark and Associates, which is the audit firm that audits the town of Warren. This is our second year auditing the town. You had been previously using a firm that had audited the town for about 30 years or so, and those gentlemen retired and moved on, and we've taken over the account. So last year I came before you and went over the report. We did have a number of findings. It was good to get a new set of eyes on things, to look at things. And we had a bunch of things, and basically sat down with the town administrator and walked through what we would like to see done in the following year, which is this year. And happy to report a lot of the things have been addressed or are in the process of being addressed, and should be completely addressed by the end of the next audits. So I want to go through the report with you and ask questions as I go if you want, or you can save them till the end. So the report I'm going to go through is the report that it's like a letter format, and it's addressed to the Board of Selectmen, and it's about 4 pages. And this kind of summarizes the entire audit process, what we do, and what we found, and what we need to communicate to you, the board, because you are the governing board. So if everyone has that in front of them, I'm going to read along on my own here, and you can follow along. So what we're required to communicate to you folks is if there were any significant audit matters. So that would be if things were not done well, if the town didn't give us the information we needed to do the audit, if there was something that just caused problems. And there were no significant scope limitations. There were no material weaknesses, and all this is on the first page. No significant deficiencies. There were no gap departures. There were no arguments or disagreements with management. In fact, the audit went very well. The financial team in Warren did a great job. We got everything done just under the deadline for the bonds and for your single audit, which you had a federal audit this year. So everything got done very well. Moving along, some of this is just standard stuff. Let's move along to page 3, where we can talk about some of the observations and findings during the audit. And you'll see page 3 into page 4, we have 11 items that we've identified that we wanted to talk to you about tonight. So the first thing I want to talk about is just your reserves. Your reserves are doing really well. The forecasting has been very conservative, so you're beating your forecast every year. And when you beat your forecast, so say you estimate $1 million for motor vehicle excise, but $1.2 million comes in. that 200 gets added to your reserves because it's more than you forecasted. So the town's forecasting efforts when it does its budgets are working out really well because you seem to be beating those. The budget management again was strong. There was some turnbacks, so I thought that was very strong and it was being monitored very well. And what resulted of that is your general fund reserve balance is about 50% of your fund expenses, which is a great place to be. It's in numerical terms, it's $4.2 million. About 2.7 million of that is your stabilization funds. So you've got 2.7 in stabilization funds, and you have another 1.5 in regular general fund reserves. When you add them together, you have $4.2 million. That really sets up the town well for future bond ratings, for future hiccups, if there are any, in terms of where the economy goes. If there's a hiccup in the economy, and you've always got funds available. So really a great place to be, and the bond rating people really like to see the reserves. So this will be a really wonderful thing when you do get around to doing your next bond rating. And please ask questions as I go if I'm talking too quickly. So one of the revenue drivers I wanted to point out was the town, and we had put this in the letter last year, the town had already begun to do this, is investing better. So with everything going on with the FOMC, the federal fight against inflation, the FOMC was increasing rates. So the bad news is it was hurting the borrowing side. The good news is savings rates were going up. So in certain situations, some banks were offering up to 5%. And it looks like the town has taken advantage of that. These are safe securities. They're good yields, and they were before all of this happened with the FOMC. These were earning maybe 0.5%, 1%. So the town treasury department's done a good job of really going through this, and you earned $200,000 in extra investment income this year than you did last year. So it shows that the town's really going through and trying to find ways to generate revenue that are kind of outside of the box. Normally, people aren't thinking about investment earnings, but really nice job by picking up that extra $200,000 in the current year. The next topic I wanted to talk to, if there are no questions yet, is just this, and this is more of a nothing I found because I don't get into the forensics of your network, but just to keep vigilant on network security. Have your trainings, have your you talk to your employees. You don't want an employee clicking the wrong link and sending your town system off to Latin America someplace and it's tied up for days. So that's something that I remind all my clients of, and it's unfortunate that I see it on the news just about every day that the town is tied up and it has to, give some sort of ransomware to release their system. So again, that's important, and I just put that reminder out there, type of thing. Another area where the town seems to do a really good job of this is just looking at the departments and making sure that the cash handling is done properly to prevent unfortunate things of misappropriation. It happens if you've got a department that's handling cash. Just making sure that all the cash receipts are covered and supported by a document that says this is what was collected for birth certificates, dog certificates, some way that you can reconcile back to the cash. So it's important to just be vigilant in that area. Again, that's other things that when I'm picking up the newspaper or on the internet where I say, oh, wow, another fraud that could have been prevented. Um, the next area that we had identified last year was your ambulance receivables. The outstanding balances were getting very large, and it looked like they hadn't been looked at in a number of years. We picked up on that, did a comment, and it looks like the fire chief is working with the town finance personnel to address that. So what's going to happen if you look at that list, you'll see that, you know, if someone really did a deep dive, you'll see that some of those people probably have died, they've passed on, they've moved, they don't exist. So I believe what the fire chief has done a really good scrub of that list and determined which ones are not collectible, and those will be abated in fiscal 25. So before June 30th, there'll be an abatement. And what that does, it makes it easier to reconcile those receivables. It cleans them up, and it gives you a good picture of what you really can expect to collect on your ambulance receivables. The next topic was, again, something that the town has actually corrected. I thought it was a really good idea to have cash forecasts. So for the town to know how much cash it's spending each month, how much it's taking in, and that will give you a good idea of what you have at the end of each month to invest. And the treasurer put a nice forecast, 12-month forecast together. And like I said earlier, it's really impacted your investment income, because once you know how much money you have at the end of the month, it tells you, well, I'm not going to need that unless something catastrophic happens. So I can put that in an MMDT account, or maybe a certificate of deposit, a short-term certificate of deposit. So that practice has been adopted, and I'm really happy with that. Next is the capital asset inventory. When we had looked at this last year, we noticed that this had not been updated, other than new purchases that get put in. Things that got put in like 2003, 2004, 2005 are still on the list. They obviously not using printers and computer equipment and even vehicles and things like that, probably are long gone. They've been traded in, they've been disposed of. So I thought it was a good idea for the town accountant to go through the inventory, go sit down with each of the departments and say, hey, what assets don't exist, just to clean up that, so you have a good fixed asset, capital asset inventory list moving forward. From what I understand, that should be completed for the fiscal 25 audit. So looking forward to seeing the improvements on that. The next comment, number 8, we had thought it was a good idea to just have a financial policy manual. When we arrived, there wasn't one. So it's a good guide if you have turnover, you have new employees coming in, they can go to a financial policy manual to determine how things are done in the town of Warren. So I guess what happened is you got a state grant, you applied for a grant and received a grant to help you complete that. And that is a task that's set for fiscal 26, which would be next year. Number 9, this is a big one. OPEB trust, the town didn't have one, didn't have a trust, didn't have any contributions. That began in 24. And from what I understand, you've made contributions in 25, and you expect to continue to make those contributions. So again, that's a really good thing, because at some point, the population is aging. Medicine has advanced to the point where people are living into their 90s. So the town is going to have to be providing, subsidizing a part of that insurance for much longer than they used to. And it's created a liability that all the standards and everything say you should start to fund that now, so you don't have to come up with a lot of money later, like a pay-as-you-go. So I thought that was a great thing that the town did on OPEB, and OPEB stands for Other Post-Employment Benefits, which is mostly health insurance. Number 10 is some of the stale items. So when we went through your side funds, which is your special revenues, trust funds, capital projects, we noticed there was a lot of accounts that had not had activity in years. So we made a comment in our last report to start to look at these, because the department heads probably don't know they have 500 here, 1,000 there. 1,200 here. They probably don't know that. So when the town accountant sits down and says, hey, we have this gift account, we have this revolving account, this was set up years ago, there's still some money left in there. It gives the department heads, if they can't balance something in their budget, it gives them another place to look. So we had identified a number of those accounts and gave the list to the town accountant, and it looks like those are starting to work their way into the process, so you can start to use some of that money. And it wasn't not a lot of money, but it's something, and it's a shame to just have it sit there. And then lastly, when we looked at the outstanding checks, there was a lot of old ones on the list. And basically, a check after a year is no good. So if you wrote a check to me in 2016 and I try to cash it, it's no good. The bank is not going to give me that money. So there's a law that the state allows the town to actually capture that back as income, those old checks. And there's a process you have to go to. You have to first advertise that you have an outstanding check. You have to let the person know who the check is made out to. You can do it on your website, in the newspaper. If nobody has answered that ad within a year, the town gets to claim that as income. So I know that process is also started in fiscal 25. Other than that, just some general comments. There's a lot going on out in the world. The new administration is doing a lot of different things. How it's going to impact the cities and towns is something to keep monitoring. Are we going to have some more inflation? Are we going to have some cuts in grants? I know Doge with Elon Musk has addressed the fact that there's a lot of grant money that is really more fraud, waste, abuse, shouldn't be going out there. So they're already cutting in different areas, and we're having a lot of meetings with the state and with other CPAs around the state just to try to get an idea of how that's going to impact our clients. And once we know, we'll send a message to our clients that, hey, this grant's no longer available. Be careful of this. Supply chain issues when you're trying to buy something. It might be more expensive than when you first did the purchase order. Just it might take longer. So just keep an eye out for things like that. We call down to Washington on the grants, but the person in charge of it is no longer there. They get fired or they got laid off. So it's hard to even find answers to these things right now because we're in the infancy of this. But hopefully we have a lot more transparency to that within the next 5 or 6 months, and we can communicate that to our clients. Any other comments, concerns, or anything that you guys have?
Did we were something about the
Cybersecurity.
cyber?
Oh, yeah, so for the cybersecurity, we have every month, monthly trainings that are required to be done by anybody who has an email account with the town. And we monitor who does them, and if they consistently not done them, we'll send them an email reminding them to do them.
Yeah, Jim, what Jim had done after the last audit is we went through all the findings. We spent a lot of time on the phone. He created, I don't know if he shared it with the board, but he created a task plan. This is how we're gonna knock these off. Here's the timelines. Here's when we expect to get these things done. And it was done in a very nice, organized format. It was reasonable. So he passed that along to us during the audit. And so, the thing with the cybersecurity, yeah, that was one of the items on there. But basically addressing each one of those points. And I thought that was a great thing to do, just to keep you all aware. As I'm sure Jim will take these 11 points and, maybe in a couple of months say, here's where we stand. We get to the end of the fiscal year, we get into July, here's where we stand with these comments. And this is how things get fixed. There are too many towns that I go to where these same 11 comments will be there for 20 years. And it's the same thing. I don't even have to attend the meetings. I can prop up a picture of myself with a recording from the last exit conference. But this town really does care. They really want to fix issues as they come up, as they're identified. And I'm happy to have you guys as clients. The town of Warren is a really good client to have because of that. It's really frustrating in some places where the cash is just out of balance for years and years and years and years, and we're always there. It just bothers me when that happens. And this looks like a place that if you can't fix it, you get the help to fix it. You want to address it. So those are some of my parting words for tonight. If you have, do you have are there any other questions, concerns, while you have me?
David?
No, sir, thank you very much, Tony. You did a great job. It's very good to see that we've improved so much over the past few years, and we're just going to keep on doing better here. And it was our goal when we brought on Jim, is to really get organization to all the aspects of the town, to include the finances. And it's great to see that he's been doing a great job, along with all our finance team, and along with FinCom and the treasurer, and all of them. And thank you very much for doing that. And we want you to go through these things with a fine-tooth comb and make sure if there's any problems, you let us know so we can fix them and address them and make sure we're doing things the right way.
Absolutely, that's our job, and it only makes the town better. And you're a client, so we got to look out for you. And sometimes your financial staff, they're getting hit with warrants and receipts, and so sometimes they're in the weeds. We get the ability to look at it, from a top-down approach and say, hey, that you could do that better, or you could do that better. So I think it's working. I think it's working out really well. And the comments were well received. Nobody said to me, how dare you write that, or that's not true. Everyone said, yep, that makes sense, Tony, and we're going to fix it. So great job, guys. Really good job. And if that's it, I'll tune out and enjoy the rest of my evening. I'll go watch the NFL draft now. So that should be fun. And hopefully we get a good pick at number 4. And you guys enjoy your meeting, the rest of your meeting also, and we'll hopefully see you again in a year.
Thank you. I'm gonna open
To the public, if you have any questions or comments. I think we're good, Tony. Thank you very much.
Good. Enjoy the draft, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Talk to you guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, Tony.
It's really good news. That's awesome.
Good boy, good boy. Time for warrants and bills.
Okay, I'll make a motion to pay the following warrants: payroll number 28 for $112,483.70, and accounts payable for $111,669.93.
Second that, all in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved.
I'll make a motion to pay the following bills: entree for a total amount of $4,841.94. Copla for $495. Merrick for a total amount of $1,485. Encore Fire Protection for $450. Modern Pest Services for $117. Master Telecom for $93.64. Marlin Leasing for $649. National Grid for a total amount of $2,562.40. Comcast for $279.89. Stericycle for $255.07. WB Mason for $86.98. MassCore for $2,642.45. Vanpool for $5,603.01.
I second that. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye?
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved. Can we approve the meetings, the minutes for March 13, 2017?
Yep, 1 second here. There you go, sir. And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for March 13th, 20th, and 27th.
Second that. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye?
Derek Bailey's aye. Motion approved. Next, we have Town Administrator Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I have some items I'd like to report to the board since the last time we met. As you may recall, last week we had our Public Safety Complex meeting, which was our first presentation over at Quabog, so we didn't have a regular Board of Selectmen's meeting where I could give updates to the board on progress on projects that we've been making here in town. I would like to report to the board that I participated last week, last Monday, in a fraud awareness training sponsored by the Inspector General's office as part of my renewal for being MCPPO certified. It was an awareness training that was very informative and will count towards my credits for recertification for the MCPPO designation. I also, last week, attended both capital planning and FinCom meetings as we wrapped up the annual town meeting warrant. The warrant is finalized. It's been signed by the board. It will be posted very soon, and we're looking forward to that. The special town meeting warrant is still open. I'm anticipating the board potentially closing it mid-May. Possibly May at its meeting on the 15th of May, and then we would have the opportunity to post that right after that. We're just looking to keep it open a little bit longer in case departments have some last minute requests for the special. FinCom has signaled that they are going to be meeting on May 1st to discuss any immediate line item transfer requests from departments. I had sent out notices to departments this week to remind them and to notify them that if they have some line item transfer requests that can't wait until the special, get them to us by April 30th so we can get them addressed May 1st. And so FinCom is going to be meeting on May 1st in the afternoon. Assuming that they approve those transfers that may come to them, the board will also be looking at transfers that evening as well that night. So it's a two-part approval process, one from the FinCom and one from the Board of Selectmen. Last week I was joined with our illustrious police chief for interviews. For new candidates to fill a vacancy at the police department. We interviewed a couple good candidates. They're currently under the vetting process. We hope to have a selected candidate to the board very soon. But we were very pleasantly surprised that we were able to get candidates applying from other departments that are credentialed. And we hope to bring somebody before the board soon. I also, last week, participated in the First Responders Luncheon over at Quabog on Friday afternoon, along with the police chief, fire chief, emergency management director, as well as some other staff, our chaplain. So it was a good luncheon that was had by the school, and it was really important because what it did was it shows the kids in the interactions with the community, with our public safety officials and our people that are our first responders, and it puts a face to them and helps them interact with each other. And Steve Duff, our superintendent, did a really good job with with making that connection between the students and our first responders, and recognizing all the efforts from all of the emergency management, from public safety officials and on down, of all the hard work that they do throughout the year. So that was a really good event. As well as last Thursday, I participated in Community Reading Day, where I had an opportunity to read in front of David's son's class, and meet all of the wonderful students at Community Reading Day. It really is a special event. I know a lot of department heads participated in it: police chief, fire chief, treasurer, everybody was there. It was a great event, and it really brings the community together. So the word community really means something there, because it brings a lot of the community together. And then Saturday, we had the Easter egg hunt at Lucy Stone, which was a great event, given on by our very own Easter Bunny that's in the audience. I won't give out his name, but he's in the audience. But it was a great event. All the kids were happy in really getting everybody together. And I think that event has grown since I've been here. The amount of people that have attended that event, it certainly has grown, and it is a very nice event. And the weather was great. The weather was perfect. This week we had I met with the roofers down at the senior center for a pre-construction meeting. They just signed the contract this evening, so I'm going to get that off to them tomorrow. We're anticipating them starting hopefully the week of May 12th. They have gotten their permits in. They've indicated to me that they've gotten their permits in. We are continuing on with the heat pumps. There was a delay in heat pump installation over some permitting issues. We were able to get that rectified, and so they are going to be able to get the crane here for April 30th to install the heat pumps at the senior center. We are working with Sharon at the senior center and staff to make that as seamless as possible. And then on May 2nd, Air Barrier Solutions, the individuals that are responsible for our weatherization project, they have completed the weatherization project here at the Shepherd Building. They will be completing the senior center on Friday, May 2nd. They had equipment failure the last time. Their equipment has been repaired, and they'll be able to finish the insulation in the senior center. So Friday, May 2nd, that building will be closed. Staff will be working outside, and that building will be closed for the evening, for the day. And we're working on several other roundouts of grants that have to be reported on by the end of this month, as well as we're starting, right around the corner for year-end close, as well as we're going to be kicking off soon employee evaluations. So we have a lot of moving components towards the end of the year, as we also are gearing up for annual town meeting. I do have a contract negotiations with the police union tomorrow morning at 9 that is scheduled. I had contract negotiations scheduled on the 16th, but the union had canceled due to a scheduling conflict. So we're willing to meet with the patrolmen at any time to hopefully resolve this contract sooner rather than later. That is my report for this week to the board.
Busy man. Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you.
I have a few things. So first of all, I went to the Easter event at Lucy Stone. It was a great time, beautiful day. It is getting larger, like a lot of our town events. We noticed the Christmas event is getting larger. The fireworks, I know we missed them last year, but they've been getting larger and larger each year. And Easter at Lucy Stone has been getting much larger too. So people are hearing about the events, having really good time, and it was definitely a great day for everybody. My kids loved it. They found a few eggs, and they enjoyed that a lot. Mr. Ferrara did speak for my son's classroom, and when that happened, the teacher sent out a very nice message about Mr. Ferrara and how the town is very lucky to have him, and how it's great to be able to introduce local government within the schools for the kids to ask questions and hear from the people that work within government for the kids, so they can someday maybe have a future within local government too. But it was very inspiring to all the kids, and she spoke very highly of Mr. Ferrara. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for that, and good job, sir.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, that was it. Oh, and then, just so you know, Chief, my son did ask, he told me, he goes, I would like to be chief of police someday for the town of Warren. And I'm like, okay, someday. So in about 30 years, you might have some competition. But I think you might be sitting on a beach someday, somewhere by that. But yes, the chief had a good impression on my son somewhere. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
Good job to everyone. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
New business? No new business?
Nope.
Hearing none. Old business?
We have the highlighted items.
The changes are in gray. So if they didn't change, I have no new information on them. I did make a new flyer. It will be up on the website. I forgot to do it today, Mr. Farrar, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I will get that up tomorrow. I did talk to the oldest person in town. She said, thank you very much, but I want nothing to do with it. So,
That is Maggie.
I don't know if we want to just announce it and send it to her, or she said she would not come to a meeting at all.
Yeah. I think we should have the chief deliver to her. With several bodyguards with you.
And I don't know if we got a count on the flags. I wasn't sure about that.
I actually do have that information. You want me to share it now, or?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Jim McKeon, I was asked to get a number of the
Thank you, sir.
flagpoles. So for West Warren, if you were to do every pole from the traffic lights all the way to just about Spring Street, Ware Road, it's just about 18 poles. And I just counted Warren's, and from School Street to Parkview is 16 poles. Now, the Warren, going through the center of Warren, it pole on each side, so it might look a little more.
Mhm.
But on West Warren, all the poles are down one side. So all your flags pretty much be on the side going, on the side of the Village Market Senior Center, that side. They're not back and forth, if that's what you're looking for, or,
So 16 and 17?
16 and 10.
Or 35?
So
but do you want to probably have an couple extra,
Oh,
You said
For something?
16 and 10, correct?
16 and 18?
18.
But if you want to
sorry.
make that 20 and 20 for each spots, just in case a bracket breaks, a flag breaks,
Yeah.
have
They were
extras.
At least.
$60 a piece.
And the veterans agent said she would be able to help us with some.
She said she would be able to help us.
Okay.
So I
See
don't
how,
know.
see
I
how
can't
many
do
she can
that.
help us with, and
She said, I think she said $2,600.
okay.
So we'd have to multiply that out, which I don't have my phone on me.
I think it was like 2,400 if you did 20 and 20. So if you did
So
a 40,
she could do it all.
That's probably the number to go with for 20 in each spot.
And I think if we
I would
buy
say.
in bulk, if we're buying like 40 flags,
That is with the discount.
okay.
So, yeah, so she says
Well, they're
just
also
let her know.
heavy-duty flags, too.
They are. They're
So-
definitely outdoor flags. They're very good. And the brackets, she says, are the best brackets you can get.
Yeah. I think we should
Finally.
at least have them for Memorial Day, well, for Fourth of July and everything, too.
At least for 4th of July.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want me to let her know?
Yeah.
I'll send her an email tomorrow.
That'd be awesome to put the flags up in town. How do you feel about that, sir?
Just, who's doing it?
Well, we think we all know who's getting voted for that job. Did you have to ask?
You're gonna have to figure out who has the
I stay on the
voice.
ground.
I think you have 5 minutes in between 1:30 a.m. and
Yeah, we'll do that night.
That's just a night shift, don't worry.
guy does like every job in town.
So I didn't have anything else to report on any of these. Still in work in progress. Okay.
And the credit cards.
Still working on that one.
And Mark's Mountain Land, did we find out?
Well, we talked about finding out how much a tax title would cost, but I don't know if we assigned it to anybody. We just said we'd like to do it. 'Cause I don't.
I'll get a quote on that for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of something
Title
we should
search.
know how much a title search is gonna be, because there's probably a few other properties. Because I believe we own a piece of property in Hudson too, Hudson, Mass.
Hudson, Mass, really?
Yeah, because we actually got contacted from them a while back, and they asked what we were gonna do with the property. And we didn't even, it's like, why would we own property in another town somewhere? But apparently it was left to the town. So,
Is that something we can sell?
probably. We don't need it, we're never gonna use it.
Oh, come on, we can put a park over there.
The office, so we can put
Commute.
offices.
Yeah,
A police
remote-
station, chief.
That's a hell of a commute.
yeah, can you patrol our property in Hudson, please?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So not this week, but next week on 5, 6, 7, 8, I'll go through all the computers
Okay.
and get finalized
Red dot.
Do we have anything else on the list that we want to talk about? Or anything that we want to add?
No, I think we're good. The only thing I got is, an update, I updated Mr. Ferrara, is when we did the site walk for the levy, the property manager came out and was speaking with us, and it was brief, but he did say that they might actually already have a, sorry, the what?
Easement?
The easement for the town to be able to get onto the property for the levy and into the buildings. We might actually have one, he's gonna look for it and try to get to the town. And if he can't find it, they have no problem with giving the town a blanket easement to the property. So,
That allows the
that'd be
town to-
something that we should work on sooner than later, especially if it's just drafting up some documents with, KP Law and then just submitting it. Just to make sure, because if something happens, any new owner of that property could tell us, no, you ain't coming on, and we'd have to fight them through court to get onto the property.
Even to do regular routine inspections,
Right,
we should be covered with walking on that property.
right.
as Representatives.
Are the Corps of Engineers giving us a report of that day?
Yeah, it usually takes a month or so. It takes a little bit.
There were a couple issues which we discussed previous meeting. which they're gonna write up and we're gonna have
Yeah,
to,
we'll-
levy committee's gonna have to identify how they can address that. So,
But the easement, that would be
it's a big
number
one.
one to start working on
Yeah.
quickly.
That's probably the cheapest thing
Yeah.
out of them all to do too, because it's just paperwork and legal services. Everything else is gonna cost a lot of money. So,
Hopefully before something really bad happens.
One thing I would like to add to our list here is the bridge repairs, South Street in DOT, because that is something that's gonna have to be addressed, because in the 2 years since we were there before, it's deteriorated quite a bit.
Is there a way to,
And that's DOT.
and there's a way to talking to them? Is the highway?
The highway surveyor is communicating with them, but right now, the guy he was communicating with, either, what, did he retire or he left?
Might be a different person.
And it's a new person who is not as responsive. So I don't know if we can put pressure on it as far as the town, or Mr. Farrar can work his channels and see if, we could talk to Todd Smoller about it. Maybe take Todd down there to look at it, because I think, the state reps should probably look at something like that and say, hey, that's gotten bad, and all it was that rubber seal. If that rubber seal was fixed when, Jeremy told them to fix it, and it was a problem, we wouldn't be in the condition that we're in now, but now it is.
Same example, no maintenance goes bad.
Well, that's, yeah.
That's the
You gotta take
perfect
care of things
recipe
that happen.
cookie.
Yep.
Dan, you have any update on the signs?
In process, what I need is I need the color of the town seal. You want it white, you want it yellow like I see around on different pieces of equipment? What do you want for background on it?
What other colors are we using?
White,
So I don't think the seal is really yellow, I think it's supposed to be gold.
Yeah,
It's a gold seal?
metallic gold vinyl.
So I think if it was a gold color, it would be nice with the white background.
well, the sign is not gonna be white.
What color is the
gonna be
sign?
Green. You're gonna have
Okay.
a green background. You're gonna have gold trim around the edges, okay? And then the seal is gonna be up in the top in the center, okay? And I know it's, what I have for pictures shows it yellow with black imprinting. and
Yeah.
The figure traced out, but then I look at equipment around town and it's got a yellow background with black highlights. So pick one or the other, what do you want?
I would say white background.
You wanna keep it white?
It would show up better than the gold on the green,
Yeah. The gold's gonna be darker.
so it'd be better to do the white background.
Yeah, I'd do the white,
Yeah, do white.
Yeah.
unless there's something
Unless it's really-
historical that makes it significant to be the gold color. Nothing that you know of, Joe?
I wouldn't worry about too much between the two, but if we
Yeah.
have a chance,
I just wanna
White.
get it done right and right the first time, I don't wanna have to, people start pointing things out and say, hey, that's wrong, it should have been this, and, you should have talked to somebody about it.
well, we're talking to somebody about it right now. We're talking about it, so if they weren't here,
There's nobody on there.
And that's why I'm bringing it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
On
My
the
choice will
backside
be,
of the town,
my
on the
choice
backside.
will be white, but like David says, if there's any historical importance, rather than having a gold seal on it, because they're gold, but maybe white will read better.
Definitely.
The backside of the sign is just to simply say, thank you for visiting, come back soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and no speedy returns because they go over the speed limit.
No. So,
Okay, thank you. Do we have any correspondence?
No,
Anything important in our inboxes?
nope.
Nope.
Nope, not me. just besides that email, there was a spam, what was that, spam mail?
I believe so, yeah, it was a phishing email.
I click on it. Yeah, with my phone, nothing happens with my phone. Like when you said, don't click on it, what?
Yeah, I got it too. It's still sitting in my inbox.
Well, it looked like we don't have a,
It's funny because somebody
human resource
sent
department,
it to
right?
me after
Well,
he said it.
I knew what it
I
was.
said, what are you doing?
Good training.
He said, don't touch it.
They haven't
It's
opened
still
the trainings yet.
Yeah, I'll get to them to have them do that.
Because I did the new training, but I couldn't do the other
Other
ones.
ones, okay, I'll get them to do it.
So we do have one correspondence that I would bring up, and it's from Tim. And he just wanted to say that, you know, everybody did good, the temperature was good, and CERT rocks. So, oh, Cynthia Baxter says CERT rocks, and Tim said CERT excellent again. So good job, CERT, with the Easter event.
Yeah, our events wouldn't be the same without CERT, definitely.
They
You know?
definitely do
I
good.
also did have a couple people from Charlton and Sturbridge, other teams come too. So,
Oh, nice.
had some other members, so we had,
I believe
Quite
that
a few of us.
having them there, it shows the public that safety of coming morning again and again, you know, because it's not just like a isolated event. It is an event from the town, and you show up and you're directing the traffic, and it makes it very important.
Good job.
Do we have any comments and concerns?
No.
Is there any way we can ask them on the highway to paint the lines under the underpass? You should see the encounters that I've been getting into it. I'm probably not the only one, and I really don't wanna say, see, I told you if something happens there.
Well, it should be getting warm enough pretty soon to do it, after
Okay,
this week.
Looks, okay, if we
So,
can.
I'll bring it up to Jeremy.
Okay. There was somebody in the public who called me, maybe he wants to say something, maybe he'll call when I open it to the public. Comments and concerns. That's my only comment. I get too many
Yeah.
fearful encounters, because you can't really see the line, so people go over the line and then you just show up and it's difficult. Any other comments or concerns? The public has any comments or concerns? Making you suffer, Joe. Anybody?
Anybody other than Joe?
Jimmy?
I'll just stand up. Just wanted, tonight, if you monitor the news and weather and stuff, there's wildfires down south in New Jersey, and their smoke may come up and you might smell it. Might get hazy. Most of it's gonna happen overnight tonight. So, just wanna mention that. I did put out some alerts, so if you happen to. Last time it came from Canada, so it's gonna be very similar to that.
I see. Nothing related to pollen or allergies, because I'm done with that.
That's there too, but so the smoke's gonna make it a little worse for tonight.
Look, I missed the Easter Bunny had Lucy Stone because of this thing, so
Yes.
I hope it's not more
So
than
if you
that.
wake up tomorrow, you're just a little smoked out.
Okay,
Come
thank
from
you
the
very
south.
much.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Jimmy. Joe, come up.
Joe Condrat, resident. As for the South Street Bridge and the DOT, yes, there is a way to put pressure on them. But it's going to take the Board of Health to do it. They're going to have, the Board of Health will have to request a representative from DOT to come to their next meeting and explain when they intend on fixing the bridge abutments and replacing that rubber. right now, other than the building inspector, the Board of Health is the only one that could condemn the present bridge. That doesn't mean stopping traffic. But if they condemned the bridge, even if they were to just put a sign up on the telephone pole at each end, it reduces the level of liability to the town. The DOT owns it, runs it. If somebody goes through that bridge, they take the lawsuit, not the town. And as recently as a few weeks ago, when the turnpike was closed between Palmer and Sturbridge, I counted no less than 10 trailer trucks coming up over that bridge. I can't imagine what that type of weight.
Well, from my experience, the structure probably will last a lot more. I mean, it's not really going to fall just, the way it is. And I think probably even if we can contact DOT, it's gonna be they're gonna come to us and say, oh yeah, we have 10 more bridges worse than that. But.
Well, they probably will.
But.
They'll probably come
I
up
think-
with a bunch of excuses why they can't.
Exactly. What I think is we can't just cross our arms. We just have to, send a message away. At least we send the message.
Well, we have a strong Board of Health, and if they can get a hold of somebody on DOT as a representative to come and talk to them and say, all right, you examine this bridge once a year, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, let's face it, if they intend on only doing the turnpike bridges, this thing is just gonna get worse and worse every single year. And sooner or later, you're gonna have a sign saying, no more than 2,000 pounds at a time. A trailer truck, just a cab, weighs more than that. And the other thing I would like to talk about, next Wednesday, the 30th, between 6:30 and 8 o'clock at Quabog Regional, will be a Meet the Candidates night. Yes, I have a white shirt.
Thank you, Joe. Anybody else? No, looks like we're early today.
Yep.
So our next meeting will be on the 1st of
May 1st.
May 1st. May, at the same time, same place. Same of us for now.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that. All in favor?
David Dufresne, aye.
Derek Bailey's, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.